Good evening, YouTube. Welcome back to Fat Cat Collections. Today I wanted to do a side-by-side video showcasing 3 of Invicta's biggest watches. Now, anytime I do a video, I always gotta state there. Anytime I say something in the video when it comes to biggest or est, anything that's that I'm discussing that might be overgeneralized, please take everything I say with a little bit of common sense, and just remember that when I share a watch, I have not experienced every single watch in the entire world, and there may be a watch that's bigger than the ones I'm showing you. Invicta may. I always do a video and be like, oh, one of the biggest watches. Somebody come back and be like, wait a minute, that's not the biggest watch. I understand that there are other watches, there's one-offs, there's all kinds of watches in this world. These are some of the biggest ones you're going to find in the world. Again, be clear, I know there may be other watches out there, but these are some of the biggest that I've seen across brands, and I'm always looking for watches. And if you do know of one that's bigger, by all means, you're more than welcome to drop a comment. I've probably heard of the watch already. I'm not going to mention every watch I've heard about. Please though, if it's the Diesel Granddaddy, I've seen it, yes, okay? I know it's big, okay? But these are the ones from Invicta. And these watches are 3 of the biggest watches Invicta makes. And a lot of times in Invicta, I have pet peeves with Invicta too. I love the brand. You guys know I love the brand, but sometimes their naming annoys the hell out of me. Sometimes the measurements annoy the hell out of me, and depending on where you're buying it and how the shopping networks may word these watches, they can either be misinterpreted, they can be listed incorrectly. So always remember that these watches, there's a little bit of debate when it comes to size. Again, some guy may say, oh, it's 58 millimeter, 70 millimeter. And the reason I want to mention that is because a lot of times I get guys who are like, hey, I'm looking for the new, I'm getting one of the Sea Hunters, a 70 millimeter. I don't want to get the 58. And I'm like, well, dude, it's the same watch, okay? Just depends on where you measure it. And unfortunately, a lot of times watches, they either measure case or they measure bezel, and you'll see both. So now I know Invicta makes some other watches as well that are pretty big. Some Shack watches that I haven't seen or that I don't have in my collection. But as far as the ones that are readily available, the ones we've all seen, hopefully seen, these are 3. So I have the new Shack 5 time zone. I have the full-size Sea Hunter, what we'll call the Sea Hunter 3. I know Shop HQ and those other sites call it the Sea Hunter Gen 2. In my opinion, it's technically not, because they did come out with a 2nd generation before this. It was an inexpensive version. It was completely different, but unfortunately it was called the Sea Hunter. So whether we want to pretend that didn't happen or what, this is my opinion. This is the Sea Hunter 3, but you will find this referred to as the Gen 2. The other watch, my favorite watch of all of them by Invicta, the Grand Octane, also referred to as the Grand Arsenal. It was originally the Grand Arsenal, then it became Grand Octane. You'll see it referred to as both. These watches you're going to see 58, 56, 72, 70 millimeter. So just keep that in mind that these are full-size versions. The Sea Hunter, you'll have the Sea Hunter and the Grand Octane or Arsenal. You are going to have mid-size versions you can find. Most of the time you're going to find the full-size. You're going to see the full-size 58 millimeter version. So let's just first show you the Grand Octane. Now this, I have 8 or 9 of these watches. This is one of my favorite watches by Invicta. This is a Jason Taylor edition that I'm showing you guys here. Not my most favorite. I got this because I got a good deal on it, and a good deal before Invicta stores. Like, good deal on this watch now, smoking deal, $138. I paid as low as $138 for a Grand Octane. And from now on, when I refer to the Grand Octane, I'm not going to say or Grand Arsenal. It's going to refer to it as the Octane, because that name kind of stuck a little more, and you'll see it referred to more now as Grand Octane. I love this design. I love this watch. Again, I have 8 or 9 of these things, but this one here I probably wouldn't have bought because I think I paid about $220 for it. And again, when you see the great deals, and you're only going to find those deals on Invicta stores, the link is in the description. If you haven't checked them out, please use my link. I appreciate you guys when you do that. It is an affiliate link, full disclosure. If you find value in what I do, you want to use my link, I do get a small commission back. So I appreciate it. If you don't, and you're like, fuck you, Fat Cat, then I guess you're not going to use the link. So you don't have to drop me a comment and tell me I'm full of shit because I like Invicta watches and because I get a little kickback from Invicta. I don't work for Invicta. I don't get free watches by Invicta. Every watch I have by Invicta is paid for by me, okay? So I love the brand. I wish I did work for the brand. I'm passionate about the brand. I feel like there is not another brand out there that gives you the bang for buck you're gonna get with Invicta. But with this one here, black and blue, we can call this the Batman for you Rolex snobs out there who think it's okay to call your black and blue Rolex watch a Batman. We can call this a Batman too. I'm just kidding. Like what you like, guys. It's totally fine. But yeah, or we'll call it the Bruise, right? Black and blue, right? Now, this is not a bad watch by any means. I find this one I don't really wear all that much just because one thing I always repeat, like beating a dead horse, that when it's a black watch, I feel like you really need something to make it pop. Gemstones, the abalone, something that's really loud. This does have black mother of pearl, but you really can't see that on the dials. It's very subtle, and I've seen black mother of pearl look great. I've seen black mother of pearl like this where it's almost non-existent. There's just no color shift. So a little disappointed on that, but still an awesome looking watch. Now this is, again, the full-size Grand Octane, 58 millimeters. Again, I've seen it 56 as well, and it really comes down to where they measure. Do they measure the bezel, or they measure what I always call pillars, these little kind of raised rubber pieces with that hex bolt in there. If you measure at the bezel, 56. If you measure at the end of those, and technically they're part of the bezel, so I understand, I'm not faulting anybody for how they measure, but this is also referred to as 56, 58, and 63, because when you measure all the way the crown guard or crown protector, I'm not sure where it's actually measured, it'll measure 63. Big watch. Beautiful watch. The next one here I want to show you guys is the Sea Hunter. It is, again, one of the biggest watches Invicta makes. This is a tank of a watch. This is not the kind of watch, none of these watches are the kind of watch you just jump into. I mean, now I'm not saying some people, I'm not trying to make this like a big deal where some guys are like, oh man, you just can't just go do that. You can wear whatever you want. But my experience when it comes to people who who have started to get involved in big watches, sometimes if you just jump into something this large, it's a little much right off the bat. Your wrist, I'm not saying you're not strong enough. I'm not saying you can do it if you want, okay? But if you're used to wearing a small watch and you suddenly are like, yep, I'm going to get the giant Sea Hunter, and I'm not saying don't, but just know it is a heavy watch depending on your wrist, depending on your, I believe it's called the ulna, this bone. I'll be honest with you guys, sometimes I'll get a little bit of an irritation if I wear an Invicta too long. That's why I kind of rotate between some of the big watches and some of my smaller, and guys, Invicta guys, I don't want to say girls' watches, and I hope that you guys, off the subject of these watches, but, remember, we're no better than if we refer to, and I'll do it too, but I'll only do it in defense. Nothing wrong with firing back in defense. Remember that if somebody likes a small watch, it's not a little girl's watch. It's not feminine. It's not. It doesn't lack masculinity. It's just different. And I want you guys to always respect whatever anybody has on their wrist, and totally give you a reason not to. When somebody starts saying, "Oh, you look like a meathead bodybuilder with that big clown watch," then you tear them apart, rip them to shreds. But until then, remember, there's nothing wrong with small watches, and I have many, and I wear them. I'm gonna wear one today because my wrist is actually a little sore because of the watch. Okay, but just be respectful. Okay, but this watch, if you haven't worn a giant watch like this before, it is a little much. And even if I were to take this, I wear my watch on my left arm. If I put this on the right, it feels like totally weird. It's heavy. It's just totally awkward. I'm not saying that you may have to kind of work up to it. You may not, I kind of jumped at the big watches, and I just, it is what it is. But I have heard stories of people like, oh, I got it. It's just way too big. And maybe they haven't gotten used to wearing a larger watch. So just keep that in mind. Do what you like, But this is a tank. So this is just, this is honestly the kind of watch that you can get, I'll wear it a couple days and then that's it. I got to give my wrist a little bit of a break. It's not a watch you wear, and I don't agree with wearing a watch loose. If it's how you like to wear it like that. But I believe in wearing a watch snug. And with a watch like this, it's almost not even a personal preference anymore. You almost have to wear it snug, because if it's flopping around, you're just going to get all bruised up, baby. You have to wear this snug. Now, this watch here, at the crown protector, the crown guard. Let me just demonstrate something here. This isn't going to click down in case you see any idiot knuckleheads out there reviewing this and say, oh, it doesn't even, look at the quality. You have to screw the crown down and then this will snap closed. Okay, right now I have the crown out because the Ronda movements will save 70% of the power if the crown is out. And I have a lot of watches, so I try to maximize the battery life. 58 millimeter at the bezel, and then 70 millimeter all the way to the crown guard. So this is a tank of a watch, well over a pound. All these watches are pretty close to a pound or over a pound, so they're beef. 23 millimeters in case thickness. What makes this watch just almost one of the world's biggest watches, not almost, but one of the world's biggest watches, is not just the diameter, but the thickness. It is so big and beefy. And if you're, you know, I'll tell you, I think that Invicta really was pretty smart in dealing with Shaq, you know, and kind of having a collaboration with Shaq, because he's a great face for the brand. I mean, he's a big dude, and that's also, you know, you don't have to be a big dude to rock big watches. I know that's kind of like their excuse sometimes they have. Well, if you're a big guy, you can, you know, and I wish they really sell you on these shop HQs and these home shopping networks, and they're doing their job, and, you know, I watch them, but, you know, I remember, you don't have to be, I know they try to appeal to everyone. Remember, you could be a small dude and rock these watches. I've rocked huge watches for years. I'm not a big guy, and I get nothing but compliments on these. People want to know more. They're drawn in. And so just remember that, but there are guys who are big, and they're like, oh, you know, they want to have, I don't think you have to have proportion when it comes to watches. Guys wear baggy clothes, guys wear tight clothes. It's your personal preference. And so, but I do think that is kind of a cool collaboration. And I've often thought that it would be kind of neat if Invicta did contract or collaborate with maybe an Olympian. You know, I think that Swole watches, although I don't like the brand, I think that they're overpriced. I think they're basically just repurposing. You know, and I don't want to also, I could be wrong. I don't want to do the whole movement bias watches off Alibaba. You know, I don't know if they do or don't. It's not my place to say that. Just because something looks like something else doesn't mean it's, just like people are like, oh, I steal that Invicta Joker watch, 50 bucks. No, you didn't. That's not, you're not going to get it for that. It's not the same watch. It's not the same thing. Invicta doesn't buy their watches from Alibaba. Just because you see somebody advertising a watch they're using Invicta pictures on Alibaba, doesn't mean it's Invicta, okay? Or any brand for that matter. That would be like saying, oh, look, Rolex has got, they say it's Rolex, they get their watch from DHgate. No, they don't, okay? Just keep that in mind. But, again, if I think it'd be cool if Invicta did kind of collaborate with like Lee Priest, or hey, Big Ramy just got Mr. Olympia. I think it'd be kind of cool. Swole, like I was saying, Swole watches, though I don't like the brand, I feel like you get way more for your money. Swole really kind of has latched on to a lot of the bodybuilders, and I think that you know, Rich Piana used to wear Grand Octanes. You'd always see a Grand Octane on Rich Piana's wrist. So I think Invicta, you know, if you're a bodybuilder and you're watching this, if you're, you know, a gym rat and you are a big dude, I know it kind of goes hand in hand. Big guy, big watch. Doesn't have to, but I know that a lot of the bigger guys, the bodybuilders like the Swole watches. So if you've been checking out Swole and you're, you know, a bodybuilder, or you like that whole lifestyle, check out Invicta. I think that Invicta would be great to Lee Priest is one of my favorites, so I think it'd be kind of cool to collaborate with Lee Priest. What I like about Lee Priest is he's a shorter dude. I don't mean really short. He's like a little shorter than me. I'm not a tall guy. He's like 5'6", I think, and he was just, how cool did he look at his prime? He still looks amazing, but anyway, totally different. You know, everything looked the muscle looks so much bigger because he's such a small. He's got a smaller frame. But anyway, back to the watch. It's a tank of a watch, 23 millimeters thick. It is a beast. Again, this is an 8-hour watch for me. After that, you know, it's coming off. I'm putting on the lounge. I'm putting on the sweatpants with the 38 millimeter, right? All right, now the newest acquisition of my collection, or one of, the Shaq watch, 5 time zone watch. Now this, on paper, you would just think that, all right, this watch is going to be, you know, just the same size as the Sea Hunter, because the advertisement is 58 millimeter. So you're going to see 58 millimeter on this. You're going to see 58 on the, again, 56 or 56 on the Octane, and then the Sea Hunter 58 millimeter. For those who know that watch is almost 70 with the crown guard. But the way they've done this Shaq watch is they've made this watch kind of what Diesel does with their watches. It's all face and less case. So there's less steel on this. It's lighter, still a heavy watch, but it looks even bigger than these watches. And this is a gigantic frigging watch. There's not many watches that I've ever seen, definitely none that I own, that pretty much when you put this watch next to any other watch that I own, it dwarfs them. Give you an example. Here's a 50mm Aragon. I mean, look at this. I mean, it dwarfs the 50mm Aragon. Now, keep in mind, you know, on paper, the 5 time zone, honestly, I don't think it's sold very well. You know, I was lucky to get a great deal on them. They're about $4.99 right now. I'm not sure if you're going to see any deals. I love the watch. I got it for $220. So I think that was kind of a one-time deal. You're probably never going to see it there. It does have genuine diamonds around each time zone. And if you haven't seen my video reviewing this, check it out. I just talk about the 5 time zone and its inspiration, where it came from, and what it means to me. Awesome piece. But this is the point of this video, is the size difference. It makes the Sea Hunter, let me line these up, look smaller. You know, and that's just because what they've done is just made that. And this is black. You could imagine if this was in the silver. You know, black is slimming. Everything black looks smaller. Yeah, anyway, you get my point, right? So, you know, this is just, I mean, it's almost dwarfing, or I shouldn't say dwarfing, but it's making the Sea Hunter look smaller. And this is a frigging enormous watch. Let's compare it side by side with the Grand Octane. I mean, check this out. I mean, it's incredible. Look at how much larger it looks. And again, the reason is just because they've made the bezel thinner and the face is just larger. So you have the illusion that the watch is actually bigger. If we go ahead and line the bezel up, the bezel's actually the same size. You know, you're right at that 58. And again, depending on where you measure bezel or these rubber pieces. But still, the illusion, look at how much bigger it looks. You know, it just looks like a larger timepiece. And it is just incredible. So let's go ahead and throw it on the wrist. You know, I mean, I want you guys to see this. If you missed my video on this, check it out. Again, you know, I know that with Invicta, sometimes you're gonna get a great deal. Other times, you know, depending on what kind of specials they have, you might pay a little more. You know, I think that realistically, and these are reserve level, all 3. I think that anytime you pay within, if you're under 300, you got a very fair deal. If you pay over 300, and again, we're not talking precious metals, or not precious metal, they don't do precious metal, but gemstones or diamonds. Again, this one does have those diamonds, very small diamonds. I think it's like less than half a carat, but you still have them. You still get a little shine. It's still cool. All prong set, you know, they're not going to fall out. But you pay a little more for the diamonds, and this was a killer deal. But again, my argument with Invicta has always been like, well, you know, I know this is a $138 watch. You throw some diamonds on there, and now they're charging $1,000. I won't do it personally, but it's just this one here. You know, like I said, if you're paying under 300 for a reserve level Invicta, you're getting a fair deal. You're getting down to 2, you're getting a good deal. Under 2, you're getting a great deal. Over 3. You know, like I said, my new JT Black Spinel edition, I paid $330 for. I know I paid more than I paid for other Sub-Aqua specialties, but I wanted that model. And so Invicta, a lot of times, depending on the model and the popularity, you're going to pay more. Okay, this watch now, you're going to pay more. They may sell out, but I will tell you, I think that they're going to do a deal on these. And I think if you just stay patient, you're going to see Invicta stores do some kind of. I'm surprised they haven't done it already, but Shop HQ sold completely out of these when they had them for $220, $229, something like that. Right now, Invicta stores, again, check my link. Please bookmark my link. Anytime you buy an Invicta watch, use it. It doesn't cost you anything. I get a small commission back. Again, if you don't want to, that's fair too, but I want you to still buy it where you get the best deal. And so with this, Invicta stores right now has the stock. And they have them in the different colors, and I think every color they make, you will see these go on sale eventually. The Invicta's not going to sit on for $500 forever. So I hope that you guys can take advantage of this deal, and I hope that when you get them, you use my link. I will put a link to each one of these watches in the description, so you can check them out individually. Maybe you like one more than the other, that's fine too. But it's a badass watch, and I'm really glad one of my subscribers on Instagram actually was like, yeah, I know you like the Jacob & Company watches. It's on sale. Ooh. I'm going to have to double dip here, baby. Let's go ahead and throw the Sea Hunter And I normally don't do this, but the Sea Hunter is just like, God, so heavy. I don't know if this will even fit. I think my right wrist is a little bit... Hey now! I think it's a little bigger. All right, there we go. Oh yeah, see, like, oh, it's just so weird. And so even I'm used to wearing watches, and I put this on this wrist, I'm not used to it. It's uncomfortable. Like, I'm like, what in the... I'd still wear it, don't get me wrong, but it just feels different. You gotta kind of get used to it, you know? Oh my God, look at that. I mean, line them up the best I can here. Look at how much bigger that shack makes this watch, or it looks compared to the Sea Hunter. And again, it doesn't, I'm not saying it makes this watch look small, not by any means. These are gigantic monster watches. You know, you gotta like this to wear these watches. But, I mean, just look at it from a distance. It's just, you get that illusion through the face. Just a killer watch. Oh, I gotta take this off, man. This thing actually hurts. See, and that's what I'm saying. You gotta, sometimes you can't just jump into this stuff. Put this one down here. Go ahead and throw on the Octane. And you may be able to. It just depends. I hate for you guys to get something known to be like, oh man, you give something a chance and then be like, oh man, it's just too big, it's too heavy. You know? See, this one's a little more comfortable on this wrist. Lord have mercy. I mean, like I said, guys, I don't want you guys to say, oh, wait a minute, that's still a big watch. Yeah, they're both still monster watches, but I just wanted you guys to see just how a design can actually, and I don't like using the word, oh, but it wears like a smaller watch. It's like these knuckleheads out there who are like, you know, they'll make an excuse for a watch, and maybe they wish it was a little smaller, you know. They'll be like, oh, but this is a, you know, it's a 45, but you know what, it wears like, and vice versa. I'm going to go, oh, it wears bigger if somebody wants a bigger watch. Oh, it wears more like a 41 because it's so comfortable. Nonsense. You know, if you like a watch, you'll wear a watch. You'll make excuses for it. I don't think that... and like I said, when I say the word it wears larger, I don't say it wears larger, I'm saying it looks larger just because of that illusion with the face. Ah, killer. Just a beast. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed that video. You know, I love the brand and I love sharing this stuff with you. If you are in the fence with the Shack edition here, I'd say get it. You know, it's fantastic. And right now they have a killer deal on a 60mm Shack. I forget which one it is. It's like 138. I've linked it on Invicta Addiction. I've linked it on Invicta Addiction is a Facebook group that I run, so check that out. It's on Facebook. Invicta Addiction. Almost 1,000 folks on there popping the wrist shots. If you are subscribed to me on Fat Cat Collections on Facebook, you can find it on there. I'm putting all these links out there whenever I see a good deal. Sorry, I'm looking out. We have some poor weather right now, and man, I think we'll have to. It's coming down. We got some snow, boys, coming down. You know my rides, they ain't gonna work in this, so I'll probably walk. Anyway, guys, getting close to Christmas. Getting close to Christmas, so I look for those late gift ideas. I think you're gonna see quite a bit here as we get closer to Christmas. Kind of like they'll probably do like maybe an after Christmas sale. I'd be shocked if they didn't, because right now I feel like Invicta Stores really hasn't done any incredible deals this year. You know, there's a few. They're doing that 30% off holiday 30, but it just seems like it's the same watches they're trying to unload. So I'm not sure what they're waiting for. You know, hopefully they do something. I guess hopefully not, because now I don't need to buy another watch. Anyway, so for those of you who don't know too, this one here, I got an offer on this today. This has only been worn once. Aragon Seiko NH35 automatic. This is the Enforcer 50mm abalone. I hate getting rid of watches, but this one doesn't get worn, and it's beautiful. I put it on tails. Like, maybe I don't want to sell this. I did get an offer for $350 on eBay on this. This is on eBay. If you're interested, check it out. Definitely more of a limited piece. You're not going to find this anywhere, especially brand new like this. So check it out. If you are interested, drop me a comment, drop me an email. I can link you to eBay if you can't find it. I did fire back with an offer. I'm not sure I want to let it go for $350, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Anyway, guys, happy holidays. Time for me to get out of here. Thanks for watching. If you like the content, do subscribe. Remember, be nice to all the other watch collectors. Be nice to the guys wearing the smaller watches. They're part of this fun hobby of watch collecting. Don't take it too seriously. It's meant to have fun. Again, don't take anybody's shit. Somebody wants to be a dick, you know, fire back. But until that happens, be kind, be respectful, and just have fun. Anyway, guys, have a great evening. Take care.